Well, hello there, my name is Vladimir. Welcome to my studio. Today we are comparing a Sandbeck California TM5 to Dingwall NG2, which is basically a Nolly Get Good signature model. And no, this isn't my first bass video ever. Actually, one of my first 10 videos was a bass comparison, and because I kind of have to play bass on my tracks, I cannot have someone else play bass on every single track. It's just not realistic. And I like playing bass and I want to get better at it. I kind of want to dive in the bass world more in the future. So yeah, why not start with something really interesting, like a kind of vintage style 5-string and a really modern one. Let's start with the Sandbeck, and I right away have to mention that this particular bass is kind of the discontinued model. They changed the shape of the body a little bit in 2015. This is from 2012. So if you want to get one, it will be slightly differently shaped, but that's pretty much where the difference is between the two models end. Let's dive into the specs. It's a swamp ash body. It's a maple neck, one-piece maple neck to be precise. The fretboard is also maple, but it's kind of a separate one. I don't know if that camera will pick it up. 6 bolts on the back, unlike on Fenders, for example, where it's usually 4. Comes with these kind of open gear tuners that look nice and classy. And for the pickups, there's a kind of Music Man style humbucker and a kind of jazz bass style single coil. The bridge on this bass is Sandbeck's own design, and it not only allows you to adjust the intonation and the string height, but you can also adjust the string spacing as well. The scale length is 34 inches and the fretboard radius is 14, so it's relatively flat and definitely not like a super vintage one. Controls wise, there's the master volume, and if you pull it up, it becomes passive, or the whole circuit on the bass becomes passive. Then there's this kind of blend control between the two pickups, so there's a nice notch in the middle when both pickups are kind of equal volume, and then you can blend in as much of the neck or kind of bridge pickup. On this position, I think it's just a bridge pickup, and here it's just a neck pickup. Then there's the treble and bass controls. Again, there's nice notches here, so it's not like boosting or cutting here, then it's boosting or cutting. And when the bass is in a passive mode, the treble control functions as kind of overall tone. And then there's also the humbucker split switch over here. The Dingwall NG2 looks like a race car to me. Has like a carbon fiber pickguard and stuff like that, like very modern kind of design overall. It's an older body, a 5-piece maple neck, 4 bolts on the back, and again these kind of open gear tuners look really nice. As you can probably tell already, it's a multi-scale bass, meaning that on the low B string it's 37 inches, and on, wait, I need to count, so there's E, H, and D, it's 34 inches over here. And if you're not familiar with the multi-scale thing, the idea is that on the lower strings, basically the distance between the nut and the bridge is longer, and it means that it actually rings kind of more clearer. There's more tension on the string, and because it's a thick string and it's tuned pretty low, the end result basically is that it kind of plays, it's more tight and articulate, and especially if you're playing like metal stuff and such, you'll probably enjoy this much more just because of the clarity it provides. Interestingly enough, this comes with a much more vintage style fretboard radius, which is 9.5, and there's a Darkglass tone capsule, I think it's the capsule, preamp in this. And something you might have seen on, for example, the Andertons videos, there's a really clever battery compartment. Basically there are 4 magnets inside, and you can just pull this out, solder the batteries, put this back in, and you're done. Really cool. Controls wise, there's the master volume, then this is a kind of pickup selector, and these pickups are, by the way, kind of split coil sound, so maybe P bass style more than a jazz bass style. And then there's a 3-band EQ, and this is a different from many other basses I have ever seen. So there's the bass control, again there's a nice notch so you can boost or cut the bass. Then there's the low mids and high mids, so not like a bass middle and treble, but like two different middle controls and also an active passive switch over here. On this bass there isn't like a single big bridge, but it's like 5 separate mini bridges, if you will. There might be a different term for this, but that's how I'm going to describe it. I'm a bass noob, so please forgive me. Something that I also want to mention is that the Sandberg is made in Germany, and pretty much all of them are. And this particular Dingwall model is actually made in China, but all the parts and everything is shipped to Canada, where the assembly and setup and everything is done. So basically you end up with a really high quality instrument for not a crazy amount of money. So why are we comparing these two, you might ask? And the answer is because these two basses are kind of, I want to call it the workhorse price range. So they're both under 1,000. The Dingwall is 1,800 euros or so. The Sandberg is 1,500 or so, depending on which color you're getting. And both are kind of pro level, but not like crazily expensive basses. So if you want to get a bass that just is really well made and sounds good, these are two options. And maybe this gives you an idea of, like, depending on which kind of music style you play, which one you should get. So you have already heard the song in the beginning. I had my buddy Ville play the bass on the tracks, and I wanted to have somebody who actually knows how to play the bass because I'm still learning. And what we're going to do next is to check out the same track, but this time we'll solo out just the bass tracks and you can compare those two. We were playing through the Line 6 Helix, there was some compression added, some drive, and we were using a kind of split signal where we distorted only everything above 200 Hz, if I remember correctly. Oxenay, yeah. The preset on the Helix was exactly the same on both of the tracks. And something that I also have to mention is that on the Sandberg the strings were fresh and we had just changed them, but on the Dingwall the strings are like 6 months old or so. We kind of forgot to order those for that particular bass because it needs a slightly different bass string set than the usual basses because of the kind of varying scale. That concludes the comparison between the Dingwall NG2 and the Sandberg California TM5, I think. I'm so forgetting the codes. And I like both of these. They're very, very different. This bass style has been kind of spreading in my friend circle, so to speak. Will isn't the only one who owns one. Another friend got one. And I don't know. Honestly, at some point I want to get one of these just because it's so good when recording basically anything and you need the low B string. It's just so clear and it's well intonated. And when I want to go for some vintagey stuff or like a very, very kind of classic P bass, maybe not a P bass, but like a humbucker or kind of jazz bass sound, then I can go for something like this. Just two great basses that don't sound the same, parts cover a lot of ground, and I think it's up to you to decide which one you like the most. And speaking of that, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think, which one you prefer more, or is there some sort of third alternative that trumps both of these? I don't know. Again, I'm still learning. Please educate me in the comment section below what bass you think is the best. That should be a very nice and friendly discussion and nobody gets offended, right? But yeah, let me know if you like this content. I personally just want to make more bass content in the future because it forces me to play more bass, learn about the bass, and that has many benefits in my recording engineer career as well. And it's just fun. If you want to get either of these basses, please follow the link below in the description, and you'll also see your pricing for these because prices vary depending on where you live and such things. And if you want to support what I do, get yourself a Cat Pick Studios t-shirt, links below in the description. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell as well. Thanks for watching this video. I shall see you next time. Something like this. I cannot wave to you. Yeah, bye!